What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Stirfry. I'm Chef T,
I'm with a Spacekid.
and this is episode 3. All right, so we have a really good episode for you today. This is pursuing your dreams and living your passions. Basically, we wanted to talk about the pros of doing what you love for a living, which is very important. And I wanted to discuss our backstories because we're nowhere near where we want to be, but we're definitely on that path. Will, you want to explain a little bit about what your passions and what your dreams are and how you're working to achieve those?
Yeah. So overall, my passion is definitely music, but I've also expanded that to just being a part of the entertainment industry. So I pretty much do everything I can, from acting to writing others people's music to perfecting my own craft with my own music. I constantly, search videos on YouTube and other sites about how to improve as an artist, as a talent, so I can reach that next level.
Yeah, and that's very important, just keep working. So for me, obviously my dream is I'd like to become a world-renowned music video director. That's my overall goal, as well as be in the industry as well, being an entertainment entity and all that sort of stuff. But obviously, we're not there yet. We're living in an apartment. We're in Cleveland, and it's definitely not where we want to end up. So I've started a business, and I'm using that business to kind of get clients and get more people in the industry and become more professional. And again, we're nowhere near where we want to be. So these are the first steps we're taking. I wake up every morning, I shoot or edit. I do one of those things every day throughout the weekday, but I believe it's definitely important not to overwork yourself. But always make sure you have your goals set and make sure you're working to achieve those goals day by day. I think it's very important to, whatever you're passionate about or what you love, you have to keep on working on those and honing your craft, because that's what will separate you from everyone else. So yeah, that's basically what I do. I do music videos, all that type of stuff, and hopefully one day everyone will know my name, Chef T, and it'll be big. Well, what do you think is the reason why people don't pursue their dreams or passions?
A huge thing that comes into place is other people. I think other people, they stop people from trying to achieve their dreams. I see it happen all the time. People might have a great idea, but they don't execute because their friend tells them that's a dumb idea, or their friend tells them nobody's going to purchase that. Nobody would do that activity. Why would you even think of such a thing? And I think people just hanging around negative people, or just their friends being negative about their business plans or future goals, just stops people. I think that's honestly probably one of the main reasons.
I definitely think so too. I think that you are a product of who you hang out with. If you're hanging out with people that they wake up, they go to work, they go out every night and they drink, it's going to rub, there's some sort of entity that's going to rub up on you and create that kind of habit as well. And I think if you're hanging around people that are motivated, when we moved in together, we had that idea that this is what we're going to do. We're going to, pursue our dreams. We're going to wake up. We're going to do things every day that's better and to better ourselves. And I think who you hang around has a huge factor in whatever you're doing. That's why they say if you're the smartest man in the room, you're at the wrong place.
Another thing, people are often afraid to be first. So
True.
I had a great example. I saw a product. Now, I'm not that big on the product. I don't like it. And it's called Crunch. So it's ketchup and ranch. So I don't think ketchup and ranch should be a combination. I don't think, people should be purchasing that as a one condiment bottle. But guess what? Somebody was like, hey, I'm going to put ketchup and ranch in a bottle. I'm going to sell it. And that person is a millionaire.
Yeah.
Because they were not afraid to go first. They were not afraid to be the first to do it.
Right, because I'm sure all their friends were like, dude, that's outrageous. That would never work, and they took that risk. They took that risk from going like, okay, well, I'm just gonna just shoot in the dark and go for it, and it obviously worked out for them. And I think it's that fear of taking a risk, that fear of having security, that fear of like people are gonna reject you, is why people don't make that first time step. People are too worried about other people instead of themselves. And I think that plays a massive role in what they're pursuing.
See, but I even consider that a different. It's one thing to take a risk, but it's a huge difference as far as being first. Like you come up with a whole new idea and you try to explain it to people, and people like, nobody does that. Right. That's the whole point
Exactly.
of the new idea. That's the whole point. I'm trying to progress. I'm trying to provide something new. I want people to think different or see my vision of what I'm trying to do. But a lot of people can't understand that until they see tons of people like it.
Right, and like I feel like that's kind of just a metaphor for things. Like things are like there are niche markets out there, and he found a niche market. He found a niche market in a place where people, like maybe 6 out of 10 people were like, "What the fuck?" But the other 4 out of 10 are avid buyers, and they'll go out of the way because they've been secretly loving that shit for their whole life, and they're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go get a bottle, and it'll solve all my problems, and
I mean, so the thing is,
it's probably a cult following, to be honest.
so if we're thinking about it, let's say a simple meal. You got your fries, you got your chicken, whatever. So, me being, normal person, I might put some ranch on the side. I'm dipping the chicken. And then, we got the ketchup.
For the
I might put
fries.
my ketchup, for the fries. But yes, those people that's like, hey, let me see what's going on. Let's just,
Yeah, because
call it a
it
day.
accidentally touches, then you're like, oh, you take your fry, you like swirl it in there, you're like, we might be onto something. And then dude found a way to capitalize on it. Well, I also think like taking that risk might be like a fear of like people are too afraid to take risks and do the unconventional route because of the security risk. Like they think that like you get that 9 to 5 job, like you're gonna have a job forever, you're gonna have their bills paid, like it's a steady paycheck. But I don't think they see the overall picture because I don't personally don't think those jobs are any more secure than an unconventional route. Because if you are your own boss or you are pursuing something that you love, I feel like at a point there's less risk because as I'm building up my own clients for my video work, those are my clients. I'm not going to have some CEO saying, "Oh, we need to cut money, so we're going to cut the video team." And I'm out of a job. But those are my clients. I can choose to schedule them in whenever I want. Like those are my clients. I'm not going to be out of a job, and if I'm out of that job, well then there's another client I can get. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like people just fear that security risk of like, am I going to get that job? Oh no, what the customer doesn't want to be on a contract with me anymore? Like that's a big fear. Yes, but over time you develop these relationships with people, which is so crucial, and that's actually I think in the long run will probably pay off more than a 9 to 5 job where you're making the same amount of money. You might get like a small percentage raise over time, but there's no real growth.
I would say a 9 to 5 job is definitely okay
Yeah.
as long as you have an ambition and a goal of how you can move out of that 9 to 5 job or how you can eventually get that specific job that you enjoy. So, everybody's not going to be an entrepreneur. Everybody's not going to be able to run a business. And it's going to be those people that, need to work. So, if, whatever you do, like if you work, Walmart, if you're in a factory, if you wash cars, take what you learn daily and also look at it from a business standpoint of, hey, I really enjoy washing these cars, but I don't want to do this forever. okay, the boss pays us, the boss has us clock in at this time. This is how the boss advertises each month. Maybe I can own my, own car wash eventually. Or,
Right.
if you're not, that business person specifically, maybe take into like, how could I get paid, hundreds of dollars for washing cars? How can I become like a celebrity car washer? Like,
There's someone's doing that.
it's people that,
Like
they make thousands of dollars cutting hair. Like, because they figured out, like, honestly, the only thing I enjoy is cutting hair. I don't want to do anything else. And now those people are cutting celebrities' hairs. They found that market. They figured out how to get in that market, worked hard, and now that's what they do. They travel the world cutting hair. So
right.
basically, have a bigger goal than, the 9, the 10, the 12, the 15, even the $30 an hour. Have a bigger goal, because time is something you cannot get back.
Yeah.
Uh, the days of that, 20-year work period is over with. Like, nobody is trying to work 20 years at the same place. It just, I don't know, it's just becoming less and less of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think that people are made to do certain things. Like we're doing an unconventional route. People love that 9 to 5 route. Like some people are made to work for other people, which is fine. But I think they definitely have to have fulfillment. They definitely have to have that bigger plan because what happens is they find themselves doing the same thing every day and they're miserable about it. But how can you turn that? Like life is way too short. We don't have that much time. It's all gonna end at one point. I'm sorry to be the downer, but it's all gonna end at one point. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner you can make changes and be happy in your life. Because you can work a 9 to 5. Like some people love that. Like my mom, she loves working a 9 to 5. It provides structure. She's more of like a task oriented person. But us, I mean, I like to wake up when I want to wake up. I like to schedule things when I want to schedule them. I like to have that freedom. But that's just me because I know how to organize myself in that way. But everyone's different. And just having those overall big goals and really doing things in order to make yourself happy. Because at the end of the day, it isn't about money. Like, say that person that cuts celebrities' hair, um, they could be happy or they could be miserable. But even that person that's cutting people's hair for $20, they could like love their life, you know? They could be satisfied and live a good life, have a family with doing what they love, but maybe they're not the best. You know, maybe they're not the biggest person ever to cut hair, but it's okay. You know, just pursuing what you love and living your dreams, it doesn't have to be, I don't think, in a big scale thing.
So, also to go into detail, basically what I'm getting at is, no matter where you work at right now, I'm not telling you, to go in tomorrow and say I quit. What I'm telling you to do is manage your time when you have those off days, when you're not working, and do what you actually love to do on the side,
Yep.
perfect that, and eventually those extra hours that you put into your side goals will become
Your
your
main hustle.
reality.
Yeah, your main hustle.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It will become your main hustle.
Yeah, I think you have to, even those side goals, like you have to put in, yeah, exactly. You have to put in the extra work that, other people aren't putting in. Like you say, um, like we really want to get into to doing, to making custom hats, right?
Right.
So what we need to do is we need to start making logos, making these brands, and doing hats every day to get better and to become faster at that. So then we can turn that into like a revenue stream. Well, whatever it is you do, you should also, work your regular hours and put in those extra hours every day to get better. Because, yeah, you don't have to be the best, but every day you work, you're going to get better no matter what. If you sit down and you want to write a book and you don't even have to write a bunch of pages. Instead, you should say, okay, I'm going to write 10 pages a day, or I'm going to write 3 pages a day. And eventually that'll turn into a book. And more than likely, you're going to end up writing more than that amount you limit yourself to. in the long term. And you'll just progressively get better, and eventually you'll have that book. That's kind of like the idea of, editing every day, because I want to be that guy with my own company and editing and working with big companies. But I'm slowly doing it. I'm working on smaller projects here and there and working every day to pursue that.
And then that's the other thing too. Try a lot of different things and then create your own understanding of your main focus. So although my main focus is music, like I want to be, that person that receives a Grammy, that person that makes it into the Writers Hall of Fame, that person that makes it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I try, everything from podcasts to acting to, just whatever it is, whatever people want me to be a part of, if it's media related, I will probably, say yes to the offer. Now, but I still have my understanding that music is my main focus. And then once I, continue to gather, that understanding, I just, keep it moving as this is my main focus. This is what I want to look videos up for. This is what I want, people that's actually in the industry to give me advice on. But just try other stuff. Like you never know, you might actually be good at multiple things.
Yeah, and I think that's good. I think you should definitely. People say they like, oh, you should focus on one thing and like specialize in that, but I think it's more important to kind of diversify. You don't. I think you should have one factor that you go all in on. Which is your music or my videos, but you should definitely be able to do other things outside of that that can also help your main thing, like acting. That's gonna help you with recognition. People are gonna go, oh, I saw you in that, and I didn't know you made music. Oh, then they're gonna click on your music. Like things that help your main craft, that are similar, are so important. Like I do photography sometimes, but I do it not to make money. I do it because I love to shoot and edit photos. I think it's fun. I'm not worried about making that my main craft, but I'm also trying to get better on it on the side, because I know that's part of understanding how to take a photo is important for my videos. I can like in lighting and aperture and all this different types of stuff. You definitely should try a lot of things, and if you don't even know what you love to do, that'll just help. Just trying a bunch of different shit that are similar to things that you enjoy. You know, there's if you want to do something, there's someone out there that's doing exactly what you want to do. So figure out how they did it and take those steps.
Yeah, one person I actually think is like really cool, and I always see them just trying different stuff, is Master P. I mean, so he's done everything from acting to getting in the potato chip business to, having his own clothing line, music. He even was, in the NBA for like a game or two. So, I mean, he could say, like, I tried everything I wanted to do. And then I even let my kids do the same thing, which is just so cool to me that you can just dip and dabble into all those different type of avenues, all those different type of sources of income while having fun and just, figuring out who you are. So that's one person I just really think is just really, really interesting. And I just love like how he was able to do everything that he wanted to do. And it's still going on to this day.
Yeah, because time's way too short. Like, but I bet he's living a happy life. I bet he wakes up every day loving what he does and all the different shit he does, and that happens to a lot of people. And you don't even have to like. I'm sure there's plenty of people that aren't rich and famous that are doing shit like that also. And love waking up every day, loving what they do. And even I bet as a parent, he's probably just as motivating, which is like I feel like parents definitely have a factor in how their kids turn out and how
Definitely.
yeah, and how they pursue their dreams and stuff like that.
So, as far as the parents go, so I definitely think, with or without, your parents' support, you could definitely do whatever you would like. Whatever your main goal is, your main vision, that can happen with or without your parents' support. But it helps. Like it definitely helps. Like if you're let's say perfect age. I'm gonna say 12. I think 12 is a good age. If you're 12 and you know your parents are supporting your dreams and you know they're investing time, they're investing money, it's more likely that you'll succeed because when you're in that foundation, you're getting built. Like, so we see it all the time. The main thing that parents like to, you know, invest their money in is either sports or academics. So when it comes to sports, you know, little Jimmy is 5 years old. His parents are going to find everything. You know, they're going to find money for the cleats. They're going to find money for, you know, the shoulder pads, gloves, football at home, you know, so he could practice and become that, you know, superstar. Then you got academics. Parents are going to find money for after school activities for their kid. They're going to find money for, you know, ACT handbooks. They're going to find money for, you know, college, etc. So, which is great, you know, that's parents supporting, you know, their
Right.
kids' vision, which, you know, I'm not, you know, talking bad on any parent that supports those things. Like, I would want to support those, you know, things too, you know, if I had a
Yep.
child. But then you have the creatives, the people that, you know, they want to do videos, the kids that want to dance, the kids that want to, you know, make music. And when it comes to these kids, they get left out by, you know, family members. They get left out by their parents. Like, hey, you know, I'm interested in, you know, video. Could you support me and get a camera? No, when you get a job, you'll be able to purchase that camera. That's not really needed. Just continue living life. And I see this happen all the
Yeah.
time, all the time.
Yeah, and it's sad because again, it goes with like the fear of security. Like these parents fear that their kid's not going to be successful in what they're pursuing because it's not the path that everyone goes. It's not the, you know, they're not pursuing to be a doctor where there's like that financial security, and they don't believe in it because they themselves aren't a part of that community or a part of the creative nature. You know, they grew up in a generation where you get a 9 to 5 job, and that's it. You know, we're living a total different time where it's okay to be your own boss. It's okay to pursue what you love, which I think is definitely a generational thing. And I'm really curious to see how parents in our generation, which I'm sure it'll be like the same thing, but I think it'll be a little more accepting of these kind of these paths and career paths.
Well, one of the big issues is structure. So I mean, you have different levels of people. So you have some people where they're just like, if they have a kid or whatever, that's like, you're gonna be a doctor, you're gonna be a nurse. That's the end of the story. And then you have some people where they're like, okay, they're in the middle. They're like, okay, so you want to do football? I know football. I got this one. Okay, so we're gonna sign you up as a kid, and then you're gonna be a teenager. You're gonna go to high school. You're gonna play football, and then I'm like, okay, he's good. He's really good. Okay, now you go to college, and then either you make it to the NFL or you don't. But if you don't make it to the NFL, now it's, you know, other alternatives. You can play like arena football. You can go overseas.
Canada,
But
yeah,
if you don't make it in any of that, okay, now it's time to get a job. I know this path. I've seen it before. I got it. And then you have like, hey, I want to do video. I don't know the right or wrong. Well, I know. Let me guess. Okay, I got a path for you. So you do this video, cool. You go to high school, you're still doing video. After that, you go to college for video. But I see a lot of people not getting that many jobs for video, according to what I know.
yeah. According to these
According
stats,
to what I
or
know, and I looked up some stats on Google. Oh, okay, you can work at a news station. Ah, man, competition is crazy. How do I know you're going to be the one, son? I don't know if I should buy you that video camera. You know what? I'm not going to buy you that video camera. What I'm going to do is tell you to go into something dealing with math or science, and then you'll get a job. And once you get that job, you'll thank me. And
Yeah,
that's how people think in their head.
exactly. They think that there's no money to be made doing these paths because again, these people that are doing this and pursuing these dreams, they're not in a structured place where you can go get like, oh, what's your average salary as a filmmaker? Well, it's all over the place because they're doing different projects. They're dabbling in different things in different movies, so it's all over the place. It's not like you have a job with a boss and that's it. And I think what really fucks up people is these stats. It's because they go online. Everyone is telling them, "Oh, you have to be supply chain. They're the highest. Like their job opportunities are growing by the percentage every year. They're making this amount of money. You should do that." Why? Like, why tell everyone to do that? Like, okay, well, the job's in demand, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be happy doing that. What, they're going to make money they're going to make money right out of college. In the short term, they'll make more. Yeah, they might make 60 or 70K right out of college or something, while someone that does videos just starting out is making 35K a year. But I guarantee that over time, it'll even out to the same shit. And if anything, that person that built their own career and that has their own clients is going to be more secure than someone that is climbing the corporate ladder. And then what happens if that business goes bankrupt? What happens if we have to cut costs? All these things are factors that people really don't think about, especially parents. They want people to, I would say they want people to, like, their kids to live. They want to live in their kids. They want to see their kids have that high paying job just so they can say, I think it's a little selfish, it's like the parents want to go out and be like, my kid's a doctor to all their friends, my kid's better than your kid. And I think that plays a huge factor in that as well, because
the craziest thing I saw was that big scandal that went on where, so you have these rich parents and they're literally paying for their kids to get in these top accelerated schools. And I'm talking big money. Like, I'm talking, $2 million. Make sure my kid, gets in Howard, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And why? Why would they do such a thing? Because of their own selfish, like, greed that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I want to say my kid, got in Harvard. I want to say my kid got in Yale. I want to say my kid got into Georgetown, just so that, they can walk around with that sweater and we can take family pictures and, everything could just look good. But forget it. Like, if your kid doesn't make it in that top accelerated school, let them live out their lives.
Yeah, exactly. And they're not asking the questions that are important. They're not asking, hey, are you happy with this decision? Is this what you want to do? Like, what do you want to be? Instead, they force and they tell people this. They tell their kid, this is what you got to do. This is what you have to do to be successful and be happy. But that's not always the case in these situations at all. And once parents and just everyone, if once they decide on something, they got to ask themselves, are they happy doing this? Is this what they want to do? Will they be fulfilled, or are they doing it for someone else? I think it's important to do it for yourself and to really understand why you're making this decision or why you're choosing this path. And once parents figure it out, I think that's how they build really successful people. Like my parents, for instance, were always asking what I enjoyed. They put me in places where I don't always want to be there, but they said, try it out. And that's important. They taught me that I don't have to always stick with something forever. I go in there, I play the season, like whether it's baseball, I go in there and I play, and if I don't like it when the season's up, then I don't have to do it again. But it's that idea of, yeah, do what you love to do and don't be afraid to try things. But never, I think it's very important to never just quit. Just never just like finish it out. I think it's important, like when you're What also depends on what you're doing, but I definitely think it's important to try things and for parents to really be involved in what makes their kid happy and what their kid loves doing. If your kid wants to be a dancer and you're making him play sports and he hates sports, then or he or she hates sports, then don't make him do that. That's wrong. Just because you as a parent wish you would have put more time into football or wish you would have put more time into sports, like there's no that's not a proper way to really to help and to provide that parenting that they need to live a happy and fulfilled life. They need that push to pursue what they love, but also to make sure they're responsible. To make sure they're responsible with what they're doing. When they're gonna go on something, they're gonna finish that. They're gonna go in there and they're accomplish what they really wanted to do. Because that's another thing. I think parents. Okay, well, these kids that are want to pursue their dreams, but they're not. Their parents would never enforce that they have to put in the work. That's another thing. People think that it's just gonna be handed to them, or that they deserve to be the best rapper in the world. But they're not making the effort. They're not in movies. They're not going and doing podcasts. They're just making music and then hoping they explode one day when that's not how it happens. You have to put in that work if you want to
Definitely,
pursue your own path.
it's hours of work, hours of work.
Yeah, you have to stay motivated. That's the only way to do it. Like, you have to put in that work that people aren't willing to, because that goes with 9 to 5. So people that are making their own path, like me and you, we want to put in that work to accomplish what we're dreaming to be. But people that really love 9 to 5s, I think they don't want to put in that beginning steps to become the end goal. They just want to like jump right in and kind of just go with the flow, and that's okay if that's how you want to live your life. But I think it's also important to even when you're in that 9 to 5 to put in that hard work, because those people that put in that hard work even into that situation, they're gonna gain and get bigger salaries or move up. You know.
Well, to kind of piggyback off that, we also have to keep in mind some people just haven't been exposed to options.
True.
So, they grow up and they see their parents work, and, everybody in their family, kind of has a 9 to 5. And then, they turn 18 and they turn 21, and they're kind of like, okay, well, I've been an adult for a little bit. I guess this is reality. I seen my parents do this. Okay, I'm doing good. I'm bringing in money. The bills are paid. Like this, like I'm that person. And then when they see like different people have businesses, like, oh, it's just not for me. It's not meant for me. Obviously, the CEO of that business. I mean, he was CEO when he was like 22. I'm 21. I'm so far behind. I can't. How can I even catch up? It's not possible. I'm just not meant to be that person. I'm meant to do the 40 hours a week and clock in.
Yeah. That's exactly, yeah. Some people are just meant to do that. And one thing that you said was like, oh, he's 23 and CEO, and I'm 21, and I'm behind. That's something I feel strong about, and I've also thought like that. I'm like, okay, well, all these people, they're making it, doing what I do at a young age. I feel like I'm behind. But I read somewhere that like it is so important to realize that this is such a small part of your life. We have time. I mean, time is short, but we definitely have time to develop and to build on what we want to do. Like we don't have to necessarily, you don't have to live your goal life within a year. Like that's realistically not going to happen.
Listen, one big thing that a lot of people don't know is that, like, Ralph Lauren was 28. 28. Literally, like, 22, no different than anybody putting in those 40 hours. 23, no different. But literally was 28. He started out with a small, tie business. He didn't even see his vision of national polo by Ralph Lauren. He didn't see the make polo boots. I'm gonna make polo socks. The
Right.
whole world is gonna be wearing polo. He thought, hey, you know what? I could make a tie. and I could get some people to buy my tie, in the city. I'm gonna take over the whole city, just be the best tie person. And just from that little step, just look at where he's at. And again, he was 28. So if you are 24 and you working at 9 to 5, 40 hours, you're not behind.
No, you're not. It's never too
You
late.
just gotta figure it out. We all gotta figure it out.
Yeah, and some people it happens later than others. Some people it happens earlier than others, and just don't worry about what other people are doing. Like if you know that this is what you want to do, it'll come. And it might not come in the time you expect, but it'll come. There'll be opportunities that will come. There'll be, there'll be times when it feels like, oh, I'm too old to do this, but it's never too late. Like if you're 40 years old and you've always wanted to start that food truck and you're sick of working at your corporate job, save up a year that salary, invest in a food truck and do it. It's never too late. And you don't want to be at that age and when you're old and you regret not pursuing something, because that means it's too late. When you have regrets, that means you did not do what you wanted to do, and you should live life and pursue what you want to do. I think it's so important. And in order to pursue what you want to do, there's definitely ways to do that. Like whether it's stay motivated every day and do it every day. You got to also network and talk to people that are doing what you want to do. Like Will knows that networking is one of the most crucial aspects of fulfilling your passions and living your dreams. Like you have to be willing to go out of your way to talk to people that are doing what you want to do, or even people in that industry, because that's the only way you get ahead.
Definitely. So, everybody wants to, just do the 9 to 5, do the 40 hours, get their off day, go to the bar, typically 10 to 2, and that's 4 hours. Sometimes take those 4 hours at these networking events. Take 4 hours of YouTube and see what you can learn, or how you can be better, how you can improve. Look up those people life stories that you're like, oh, they're so rich, I want to be just like them. Or if it is even not about the money and you really enjoy somebody that you see them doing everything you want to do and you like their principles and you like what they stand for and they're living comfortably, they might not be the biggest person in that industry that you want to go into, but the fact that they're living comfortably and they live by your same principles that you stand for, look up and see how they got to that point.
Yeah, you can learn something from anybody that's even just slightly above you or living a comfortable life like that. Find mentors. That's one thing I kind of struggle with, and I'm still struggling with, is trying to find those right mentors. But there are people out there. And you don't have to find. I don't have to go and talk to Steven Spielberg. Like, I can go and find somebody that's, a few steps ahead of me and ask what their secrets are and talk to them, have a conversation with them. You don't even have to have mentors in the sense of actually physically talking to them. That's why books are so amazing. Those are literally books that are meant to mentor you. There are a bunch of development books that can help you and, help you on your way to achieving what you want. They're giving you tips and tricks, just like you'd have a conversation with them. And just using those resources is so important to really understand what you're pursuing and what your passion is. Like, you have to know that you have to literally sit there and do the background work and understand that it's not just, oh, I made a video here. It's a fucking success. Everyone wants to sign me as their on contract with them to do all their music videos, blah, blah, blah. No, there's that background work. That's that building that network. There's that finding the right people in that industry to talk to. There's reading books on that industry. There's all this research that's involved and that hard work that's behind the scenes that people always don't talk about. But those are the keys to being successful, rather than just straight up, oh, I'm just going to put in the work, hope that someone finds me. No, you have to do everything full circle. It's not just that easy doing in whatever you're pursuing. You have anything else, Will, you want to touch on?
No, that's honestly just it for me. Just I just want people to really, go after what they're trying to do. Stop just talking about it and just sitting and letting time pass you, and just actually, put in that effort, put in that time. Spend more time, trying to figure out, how am I going to reach my goal? How am I going to get to that next level? How am I going to reach that point? Because if you don't put in that effort, you don't put in that time, you're going to watch somebody else live out your dream.
Yeah, and there'll always be somebody that's doing something that you want to do. So why not just pursue what you want, start today? On that note, I think that's a good place to stop. Well, everybody, thank you for listening to episode 3 of the Stirfry. Again, I'm Chef T.
I'm Will the Spacekid.
And keep it real.
Yep.
Thank you all for listening and joining us on another episode of the Stirfry. All the music was created by a very talented person named Steve Ozell. So check him out on all streaming services at Steve-O Music. All the E's in his name are 3s. Also, if you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. We'd greatly appreciate it. And see you next Tuesday, where we talk about the music industry. Keep it real.